Sorry I missed yesterday's video. This will happen again. It's going to be really difficult on Saturdays for me to get the preview up because I work 1 to 9. So when we were doing recaps after every game, it was easy because, or easy is probably the wrong term for it, but there wasn't I have to get this done by this time, right? As long as I got it done before the previous game. Heck, I could have done it when the other game was going on or afterwards. It didn't really matter, but there was a time sensitivity in terms of how interested you would be. But now there's a literal time sensitivity. You can't preview a game that's already been played, right? Or a game that's already started. So I will do my best to get a lot of these. In fact, we'll get almost all of these. There just might be some issues on Saturday. So sorry. Appreciate you tuning in. Mariners taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates for Game 3. Looking to get that sweep. It would be really nice to get that sweep. I think it's almost important to get that sweep. Saying the word sweep a lot. A 4-3 homestand against Kansas City and Pittsburgh doesn't sound all that good. Just doesn't sound all that good. 4-3 is not the worst, obviously. 5-2 sounds a heck of a lot better, but it's going to be tough because the Mariners are facing a certain pitcher by the name of Paul Skenes today. Let's take a look at Skenes' numbers in 2025. So Paul Skenes has a record of 4-7 on the season. So obviously he's not all that good. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. That record is pretty misleading. He has an ERA of 2.03. He has 115 strikeouts in 111 innings, which honestly, that number surprises me. It's that low, but he's effective nonetheless. He has an ERA plus of 211, walked 30 hitters. Just looking at some other numbers here that we don't normally go over. 0.4 homers per 9 innings. That's the best in baseball. 5.8 hits allowed per 9 innings. That's the best in baseball. That 2.03 ERA and the ERA plus we mentioned, that's the best in baseball. And he leads baseball in complete games with all of 1. If you somehow are not familiar with Paul Skenes, he's really, really good. He was the first pick of the 2023 MLB draft, made his debut last year, wins Rookie of the Year despite not making that debut until later in the season. He's really good. He's really good. You know how you know he's really good? He's got baseball cards selling for 6 figures. Now, just a 1 card. And in fact, I think it ended up going for 7 figures, but he's good. He's popular. And he's really, really, really going to make things difficult for the Seattle Mariners. Let's take a look at some of the Savant stats just to rub it in, I guess I would say. So, Skenes' Savant page kind of looks like an Idaho election. There's a lot of red here. Expected ERA of 2.53. Expected batting average is 2.07. Fastball velocity of 98.1. All of those in the 91st percentile or higher. He's very tough to barrel. 5% barrel rate in the 91st percentile. So where are his areas where he is not elite? Okay. Walk rate. 7%. And he had some walk issues as of late. A couple of starts ago, he walked 5 and allowed 4 runs over 4 innings. You kind of need to be patient with Skenes. It's tough because if you get that pitch to hit, you really want to go after it. The other areas that he is not, hard hit percentage, 39.5, 63rd percentile. Chase rate of 30.2, 72nd percentile. Good. K rate of 78 in the 78th percentile of 26.8. I'm surprised it's that low just because his stuff is so dang good. And, we've talked a few times. It just so happens the Mariners have faced kitchen sink guys. Paul Skenes throws a lot of different pitches. He has a 4-seam fastball. He has a splitter. He has a change. Well, let's look at the numbers by pitch instead of just reading. I hit pause in the middle of a sentence, which is also a no-no. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unique pitches that Paul Skenes throws, anywhere from 37% of the time to 4.7% of the time. And let's look at what hitters do against those. The four-seam fastball, hitters are hitting 200 with a 326 slugging percentage and whiffing 26.1% of the time. That is very good. The splitter, 253, a 392 slugging percentage. That's the pitch that, and that doesn't surprise me. If it doesn't quite split the way it's supposed to split, you can get to it. Weighted on base average of 346, pretty easily his least effective pitch. I almost put up quotes there, but no, that's a pitch that you can absolutely get to. The sweeper, tough. 138 batting average allowed, 191, weighted on base average, a whiff percentage of 29.5. The change. So this is a pitch that, it's split finger adjacent, but a little bit different. You know how it works. Boy, hitters have really struggled with it. A .085 batting average, a .106 slugging percentage, and a whiff rate of 43.5. But he's not done. He's also got a sinker that hitters are hitting 143 against with a weighted on base average of 166, K percentage of only 18%. By the way, the K percentage on the change is 55.3, but a whiff rate of 23.9. Also throws a more traditional slider, 176 batting average allowed, whiff of 34%, weighted on base average of 278, slugging 297. By the way, slugging on the sinker was 167. I think I forgot to mention that. Then he'll throw an occasional curveball as well, 222, 333 for the slugging, 46.7% whiff rate. That's actually his highest among his pitches. And a weighted on base average of 305. I just gave you a lot of numbers that when I just could have told you that Paul Skenes throws a lot of pitches and he's really freaking good. Like really, really good. His four-seam fastball is in the run value of 9, changeup run value of 6, sinker run value of 5. The only pitch that doesn't have a positive run value is a split finger. And that's a pitch that hitters, I think, will tell you can be pretty tough. It's just been the one that he's struggled a little bit to locate this year. So what's the key? The key is for George Kirby to pitch really well today. And I think George Kirby can pitch really well today because he's facing a Pittsburgh lineup that isn't very good. And, I can't talk about yesterday's game too much, but you saw the blueprint with Luis Castillo. And you saw the blueprint with Brian Wu as well. Locate your four-seam fastball, locate your two-seam fastball, locate anything hard on the corners, and you can beat this team. And, you don't have to do that to beat the Pirates if we're being completely honest. This is not a very good baseball team. But if you do that against most lineups too, you're going to have a really good time. You're going to have a really good time. I would imagine this is a low-scoring affair. I'm curious, the lineup, I haven't actually looked at that. I'm not going to look at the lineup now until we do the preview because I can kind of live react to it. There's a correct usage of quotation marks. Pretty normal lineup, especially for a Sunday. We have the usual top three, J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, then Jorge Polanco, who's playing second base today, not DHing, Randy Arozarena, Luke Raley, Mitch Garver, Dominic Canzone, and then Miles Mastrobuoni in for Ben Williamson at third base. Okay. I don't really think it matters who lines up for this one. And that's not an insult to the Mariners. It's a compliment to Skenes. The one thing I will say, and I think I can talk about this, I'd really consider moving Julio down just until he starts driving the baseball on a more consistent basis. It's not like I want to see Luke Raley or Mitch Garver or Dom Canzone get more at-bats. I would just probably switch Arozarena and Julio right now. I think that's totally fair. I love Julio. I have no doubt that he has been more helper than hurter by a long shot because of his defense and some okay offense. He's about an average hitter if you look at a lot of the metrics. We need more. Doesn't really make sense for him to be getting more at bats than Randy Arozarena, even though Arozarena had such a terrible day yesterday. I didn't talk about that. For the Pirates, we've got Spencer Horwitz, Andrew McCutchen, Brian Reynolds, Nick Gonzalez, O'Neill Cruz, Tommy Pham, Jared Triolo, Henry Davis, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Bad. Really bad lineup. Just a really, really bad lineup. I mean, you look at that, and how many guys would you really want? I would take McCutchen on my team for the leadership, and he's been decent. Brian Reynolds, yeah. O'Neill Cruz for sure, but boy, talk about some issues there. Lots of time for him to figure stuff out, but defensive gaffes and some terrible at bats as well. But this is a lineup George Kirby should carve up. If he pitches the way he did these last two starts, he's going to carve up this lineup. He is absolutely. And I think it's important that he does, not only for just, hey, I want to watch the Mariners win. I do think it's important to have a 5-2 homestand. A 4-3 is going to feel disappointing. I mentioned that at the beginning, I know. But it just feels like if you're serious about contending for this division, the 5-2s against bad baseball teams need to start happening. And I think it's also important because of what's coming up. You've got 3 against the Yankees in New York, and I know New York's scuffling a little bit, but that's always tough. And then 3 against the Tigers, who have been as good as any team in the American League, if not better. So, yeah, important to win games against the Pirates when you've got games like that coming up. Really appreciate you hitting like. I really appreciate you hitting subscribe. Forgot to thank Simply Seattle just because, I'm out of whack. I'm out of sorts, as the kids say. But please check out Simply Seattle and use code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off your order. Paul Skenes. Here's the other thing I'll say real quick. If you have a chance to go to the game, if you're watching this, it's probably going to post right around noon. Go watch Paul Skenes. Go watch a guy who has a chance to be a Hall of Fame pitcher. Go do it. Then come watch us on Locked On afterwards, recap it, but go watch the game.